Okay, thank you. Good evening. Please take notice that the Wellfleet Conservation Commission, in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Wellfleet Environmental Protection Bylaw, will hold a public hearing in person in the basement of Town Hall and via Zoom on Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. The public hearings begin at 4 p.m. and the business meeting follows. In attendance, we have Michael Fisher, John Portnoy, Barbara Brennesfeld, John Cumbler, Bob Stewart, and Leon Shreve, so we have a quorum. Okay, the first hearing is John Hall, 195 Kendrick Avenue, Mass 20, parcel 23, SE 077-1679. Notice of intent for a fiber roll array installation project. This was continued from July 16th, 2025 and August 2025. Would somebody here to represent that?
I think they're up here.
Okay. Who do we have?
Hi there, this is Matt Lottenberger with Wilkinson Ecological, here to speak to the 195 Kendrick project.
Welcome, Matt.
Thank you. So this project is intended to address the end scour that's been happening on the property due to the existing coastal stabilization structure that's already out there. We're proposing a 20-foot long, 3-high fiber roll array that would protect the end from scour there. It'll be nourished with compatible sediment of at least 6-inch cover over the fiber rolls and planted with American beach grass 12 inches on center. This plan has gone through a number of iterations, as I'm sure you've known since we've been continuing this for the last 2 months. As you know, we've been coming up with an approach that we believe will protect the homeowners' interests while meeting all of the requirements that the DEP would like to see in a system that contains dunes. Our current setup here keeps the entire fiber roll array itself outside of the dunes and on the beach. We would be nourishing over the top of it and planting some grass that would be on both the beach and the dune side of that border. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about the project.
So is it just this one rectangular area to the southwest of the house that we're talking about?
Yes, that's the area there that's shaded in. You can see that we included the previous location kind of in a lighter gray there, just for your reference, so that you'd be able to compare that to the previously existing plans.
So the existing container wall that's there now will stay there. Is that correct? So this is just an addition to
Yes.
shore up that one low-lying area? Will
That's
this
correct.
stop the house from being flooded? That was one of the primary concerns.
No, it's just to stop the end scour.
And scour. Okay.
Yeah.
A couple of questions. One, on the plan, it says, see plan prepared for proposed improvements to bulkhead. That's not being talked about now, right?
Yeah,
That's correct. I think that note must have been left there on mistake. There are no proposed improvements to the bulkhead being as part of this.
And you also have a proposed access. Is that the current path, or is that a new path that you're going to carve out of the dune?
Nope, that's where the existing path is. We would be using our low impact machinery along the existing path to minimize any possible disruption to the grasses that are out there.
Okay, and then the third question is, underneath the proposed fiber roll, there's currently sandbags embedded in the bank. Are those going to be removed?
Yes, I believe the sandbags were not supposed to be there in the first place, so we would be, we'd be removing those, and that area behind the fiber roll array would be filled with sand nourishment and then planted on top of, so that the beach grasses can create a more permanent stabilization there.
And then finally, in terms of the supplementing, the renourishing with sand on top of the fiber rolls, are there somewhere that I missed specifications for volume and periodicity of that?
That is covered in the work protocols that were originally submitted with our plan. We didn't resubmit them because they didn't change, but we were, the ongoing the original nourishment and then ongoing, we'd be looking at 10 cubic yards max, and then less during nourishments if less is needed.
And how would that needed be determined?
We will be monitoring the site regularly. We'll be signing the clients up for what we call storm watch, which is anytime there's a major weather event, we'd be out there taking measurements. And we have the ability to take we have an RTK receiver, which can take really accurate centimeter accurate elevation measurements while we're out there. And so we'd be figuring out whether or not there had been any change in the elevation of the existing sand compared to where the fiber rolls themselves are lying.
So the idea would be to keep the rolls covered with sand, is that correct?
That's correct.
And the ongoing maintenance, it says, the trigger to determine when sand nourishment is necessary will be when 30% or more of the fiber rolls become exposed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
And then we would use the RTK to figure out how much, essentially. Yep.
Okay.
I think there's some hands in the back there that have been up for a bit.
Wouldn't you be pushing the scouring just to a different direction by putting these fiber rolls in? And that's one question. And the comment is, we've seen a number of these projects, and I've seen a number of these fiber rolls just rolling around on the beach and not just staying in place. I know that you're anchoring them, but we get one serious storm and these things seem to not be as stable as we would like them to be. So first, back to my question, wouldn't you have scouring someplace else then on other sides of this array?
No, because of the way that the fiber rolls are angled and the fact that they're going to be covered with sand, you're not going to see anything like the scouring you would see from, say, if they just extended the wall along there. The array that we've designed is going to be absorbing that energy from the water naturally. The scouring from the wall that's already there may still continue, which is why nourishing is part of this plan. But the fiber rolls themselves are going to be a kind of backstop to stop any further scouring. As far as the other projects that you've seen with fiber rolls that end up out floating in the water or washed out on the beach, most of the other projects you've seen don't have the same robust anchoring system we do. We have plenty of other projects where the anchoring system has been in place. Some of these we have projects in Chatham using similar anchoring systems that have been in place for, I think, over 10 years now. We're fully confident that this is this is plenty strong to take whatever the weather throws at it.
Don?
I was curious about the anchoring system. How disruptive is the anchoring system going to be to the existing dune in putting that in?
That's a great question. The way that the anchoring system works is that we take, I believe with this plan, helical anchors are drilled in essentially right almost underneath, because we angle it down underneath the fiber rolls themselves. In terms of what effect that would have on the dune around it, it'll be none. You wouldn't see any evidence of the anchoring system at all affecting the established grasses behind it. It's drilled directly into the sand.
Does it take heavy to do that? Or is that something that's...
That can be done with we'll essentially have one machine parked above the fiber rolls with an arm that will be holding the machinery, which is then guided by hand. So we won't need any heavy machinery digging into or on the beach there.
Any other questions? John?
Presumably this beach is going to continue to migrate landward. And I wonder what the plan is for removing those anchors when we have to retreat in this location. And I have one more question, but please deal with that one first.
Sure. The fiber rolls themselves will eventually, we're talking about the beach retreat. We're talking about that happening over the course of, 10, 15 years. The fiber rolls themselves will have decayed by then. The anchors are meant to be left in place. It's really a minimal amount of material, especially compared to the wall that's next to it. But they can be, if the fiber rolls are completely destroyed and the beach is, moving back like that, it would be, you probably would never see the anchors again. They're going to be completely buried.
Well, but the elevation of the beach is going to drop as the whole landfall moves landward, so that the anchors will be exposed. And I presume that wouldn't be a problem. You fill me in if it is, but I think you could just crank them out, right? If the tops become exposed.
If the anchors themselves are exposed, they could be removed by hand at that point. The way that the anchors work is they use the sand itself. The weight of the sand itself is pressure to keep it in place. If the top of the anchor is exposed, it can just be removed by hand.
Okay. The other question is, that you're going to put in irrigation. If this is just beach grass, I wondered if irrigation is even needed, and if it's not needed, you could avoid the disturbance of installing it and removing it.
Irrigation's definitely preferred, but you're right that with us only planting beach grass on this location, it's not necessary. So if the commission felt it was a reasonable condition to add that temporary irrigation would not be installed in this case, we could definitely work with that. But a single broadcast head placed behind the fiber roll array would be providing more than enough water. I don't think it would, it would be entirely above ground and then would be removed after 3 years. So I don't feel that it would cause too much of a disturbance to the area around there.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a big deal.
Oh,
How are the fiber rolls attached to the anchors?
The fiber rolls are attached to the anchors via cables that are attached to the anchors. So if you look at our diagram that sort of shows the side there, the anchors go in between the fiber rolls and are attached to cables which wrap around the fiber rolls, holding them in place.
And what sort of material is the cable? Is this a metal cable?
It's metal cable, yes.
Thank you. And how many anchors do you intend to install along the length of the fiber rolls?
Oh, that's a good question. I believe the anchors are placed every 4 feet. So with a 20-foot long array, we would need anchors on each end. It'd be 6 sets of anchors, 4 anchors for each set. So
Just 2.5 feet, anchor space 2.5 feet plus or minus.
yeah. Okay, sorry, yeah. So we've got, doing the math there, that's roughly 40 anchors. Probably more like 35 because it's 2.5.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question. Once the core roll is exposed and you have to renourish, will you also be replanting at that point?
If it's needed, we would definitely be recommending to the homeowner that we add some beach grass there. Usually what happens is the sort of the front becomes exposed while the sand that's over top of it is being held in place by the beach grass. So we would just re-nourish where it's exposed and continue to sort of help the beach grass as it migrates naturally towards the front of it. So you'll see over a couple of years, maybe the first year you see 30% getting exposed after a storm event. The next year, once it's had roots grow in, you'd see significantly less. If we do have an event where the beach grass gets fully washed out and we lose most of it, we would absolutely be having the homeowner work with us to replace all of it.
Okay.
Any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
You know, I'll move that we that this fiber roll with the conditions that we've
I didn't realize that they weren't printed, but yeah.
Is it second?
Second, Michael.
Yeah, I think that this has been greatly reduced from what the original.
Yeah, that's what it works.
This seems to be a ecologically sound.
Yes.
Michael, yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes.
Would you abstain for this? Yes.
Okay, Matt,
Thanks, Matt.
you got a green light.
Thank you. Have a great night.
And are you gonna pick them up or what's gonna happen with the NOI? You're gonna.
We'll be in touch with him. We'll probably mail it out.
Okay. Thank you.
Think of it. Okay. Next item is Lisa R. Love Handelman, trustee, 60 Hiawatha Road, map 28, parcel 117, or I'm sorry, parcel 177. SE 0771-1680. Notice of intent to demolish existing dwelling and construct a new single-family home and septic system. This was continued from August 6, 2025 and August 20, 2025. There's somebody here to.
I have to recuse.
Okay. That's right, because you have to.
There should be somebody on. Chris is on.
Good evening, members of the commission. Chris Sanderson with Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors. And I believe Cam Larson of Environmental Consulting and Restoration might be trying to join as well. Don't see him on here now, but he is supposed to be in attendance.
He's here.
Oh, there he is. Great. So yeah, as mentioned, we presented this project to you about a month ago for a single family home tear down and rebuild project. We received some feedback and comments from the commission that we went back to work on addressing and have recently submitted a revised site plan, an additional figure depicting existing versus proposed disturbances, as well as some other minor comments that came up in the last meeting. If I may share my screen, I'd be happy to go over the plan changes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you should be allowed to. Let us know if it's not working.
Can everyone see that?
No, it's not yet.
It says double click to enter full. There you go.
There we go. Great. Yeah, so we gave a pretty detailed presentation on this plan last time. Again, briefly, tear down and rebuild single family home project, new dwelling substantially in location of the existing dwelling, a little bit of an expanded footprint. Another very important component of this project is upgrading the existing on-site cesspool to a new Title V compliant system, which also consists of a denitrification IA system. Also, as part of this project, and I'll let Cam get more detail back into, is a pretty substantial proposal of both restoration and enhancement plantings. So I'll briefly just touch on the major comments from last time that we've incorporated into this new plan, and then turn it over to Cam to provide a brief presentation on our updated planting plan. So first minor comment that came up was to update an incorrect butter that we had down here in Sewell's Gutter Conservation Area. We were notified that that is actually the Wellfleet Conservation Trust, so that has been updated accordingly. Another item that came up is to put notation on here in which we delineated the coastal bank, and that was done according to DEP policy 92.1. So an applicable note has been added to the plan. Some questions came up about the proposed gravel driveway as far as specifications and concerns of that material coming down to Hiawatha Road. So we have proposed to use 3/4 inch stone, which we believe that bigger stone provides, adequate voids to have it be a pervious surface. The smaller you get with the gravel size, the more chance for runoff, pushing that down towards the resource areas. We've also noted that that driveway shall be encased with steel edging to keep the gravel in its place, and have also incorporated a cobble berm apron at the bottom, again, to further contain that gravel. Another item that came up in the last meeting that we went back to look at was where we could reduce the overall square footage of disturbance that was being proposed. I believe we were a couple hundred square feet over Wellfleet's bylaw requirement of a max of 5,000 square feet of disturbance. We looked at a couple potential areas where we could incorporate some more restoration plantings. Cam actually kind of took the lead on this, and we were able to determine some specific plant types that we could plant over the leaching field area of the septic system in the reserve area. And he'll go over that more in detail with his plan. But we were able to reduce the proposed total disturbance to 4,977 square feet. I believe we're at 5,600 square feet before. So we were able to get it within that max requirement according to the bylaw of 5,000 square feet, which I think is great. I believe you received in your new packets a figure that depicts the existing disturbed areas versus proposed. Pretty clear cut how it's color coded. So you should be able to look at that and really see the areas that are being considered disturbed pre-existing and post conditions. And again, that relates back to getting that overall disturbance number under the 5,000 square feet. I think those were the major points that came up during the last meeting. Cam, if you want to briefly go over the updates on your plan, that would be great.
Sure thing, Chris. Good evening, Commission, or good afternoon, I suppose. Cameron Larson with ECR. So since the last hearing, we did update the planting plan to expand our footprint of restoration. It was actually at the recommendation of one of the commission members to utilize some bearberry in and around the septic components. So you see here in this northeast corner was where we beefed up the planting area. So we're taking it all the way out to the septic tanks, in and around the leach field. We're going to utilize that, around the leach field and up to the edge of it, we're going to utilize the bearberry. And then the leach field itself will utilize a wildflower seed mix. We wanted to avoid planting, anything with significant roots over that, any woody roots over that leach field and the septic components. But nevertheless, we were able to, bump that up by about 600 more square feet of planting than what you previously saw. Nothing else changed with the species. Just to refresh your memory, beyond what we're restoring within the work area, we are also proposing some enhancement beyond the work area. The site provides some opportunity to install some native shrubbery in and around the existing pine forest there. It's a very barren understory, so we will be utilizing native shrubs beyond the work area throughout the site as a additional enhancement to the property. There was a question that came up regarding, how will the site be stabilized following construction? So the area that you're seeing all essentially, in white here surrounding the home and next to the driveway, it's all within the work area. It'll be disturbed during construction. We're proposing to loam and seed that with a conservation seed mix, and then the intent of the applicant is simply to maintain that as a typical Cape Cod lawn. So, it'll be somewhat weedy, but it'll be maintained. It'll provide some access around the house and at the entrance. So there'll be all the exposed soils following construction will be stabilized. There'll be no exposed soils left at the site. So that sums up our additions to the planting plan, and if anything comes up, be happy to address those questions.
Yeah, I think it's improved and you answered a lot of our concerns, but I don't remember a proposed cobble apron on the previous plan. And we've not allowed that on Hiawatha Road on other projects because you're right near the resource area, and we don't usually recommend hardening of any kind in that area. So I just don't remember seeing that on the previous plan and don't remember commenting on it.
That was definitely an addition, and the intent of that was to just provide some containment to the gravel. If it is the commission's wish, we'd be, happy to condition that we will omit that on a revised plan.
Since we've declined the use of it on neighboring houses. So. Is there any abutters that would like to speak? I guess not. Okay, any questions? Go ahead, John.
Native wildflower mix, is that seed?
Yes, that's correct. That's a seed mix.
Okay. I noticed that these are all, they're all native to eastern North America, but I just noticed that they're identified as Pennsylvania. You could type North Carolina, you could type one to Virginia, West Virginia. Can you just explain, you're a professional on this and I'm not, can you explain why it's necessary? You can't get anything more local to New England. I guess that's the question.
Yep, that's Ernst Seed Mix. They're a very reputable supplier. We've used them on many projects. They provide a very good, durable seed mix. The eco region is, I don't have too much information on that, but again, they're all species that are native that do well here in these environments. So we've used it quite a bit, and I certainly am confident that it'll take pretty well at this site.
Okay.
Any other concerns or questions? Would you like to make a motion?
I will move that we approve the notice of intent for 60 Hiawatha Road with the conditions and the removal of the apron.
Second.
Yes.
Leon,
Yeah.
Damon Way, who is the butter, just raised his hand. Do you want to take his comment or no?
Yes, well, we better. Yes.
Hi.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, it's Damon Way. I'm at 40 Hiawatha. I'm not sure I understood the resolution about the apron on the driveway. Is there one that is allowed now?
No, it's gonna be taken off of the plan.
Awesome. Thank you for that clarification.
Pardon me?
So thank you for.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we have a motion and that's been seconded, so yes.
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 And yes. So it's approved.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commission. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, the next item is Timothy Riley. 73 Wigwam Road, map 35, parcel 155 and 156. A request for determination of applicability to install a storage shed. There's somebody here to represent that? Hello. You want to come up to the table so you're visible on the camera? Okay. Did the commission go there this morning for a site visit?
Yeah.
Was there any pictures taken? Was it good? I see. Basically, you have a whole lot. It's just gonna have a shed on
Yeah, did you want to introduce the project?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, we moved up to Wellfleet. We bought the house a year ago, did some renovation work. We finally moved up full time in June of this year, and we have more stuff than we can put in the house.
it.
We've reduced a lot, but we still have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so we're looking for the storage shed to be able to take some of the stuff that right now is more or less fluid flowing in our sunroom and in our basement to the shed.
So,
Well, does this need a building permit?
Yeah, they applied for a building permit a while ago. It's been on hold for about a year.
Okay.
Because I flagged it because it's within our jurisdiction. And unfortunately, this property had no site plan that had one wetland delineation. So they had to wait a while to get a site plan. So that's what we see here now. And why it took a while between the building permit and this application.
I'm surprised that a 10 by 12 requires a permit.
Yeah. It's more of a zoning requirement.
I think it's up more than, I think, 9 by 9. There's a certain size.
We went out there and it worked in my mind, like it was gonna cost any significant alteration to the other.
I just have questions about how the shed's gonna be supported. Is it gonna be on cinder blocks? Is it gonna?
Well, we haven't gone that far, but I would expect it to be on cinder block, something very not like poured cement or anything like that.
And not sauna tubes.
No,
Is that better?
Well, we don't like sauna tubes.
Oh, okay.
So it will probably condition it that it cannot be on sauna tubes. Okay,
So is that above the flood zone?
yes.
It is, okay.
The flood zone is down here at elevation 13.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not in the flood zone.
I'm okay with this.
Michael?
So when we were there, we noticed a number of things disturbing the ground within the 50-foot between the boxes that you have and the metal chimney, and you can't actually put even temporary things
Okay.
in the 50-foot.
we'll relocate them out at 50
Move
foot.
them out, yeah.
So the two boxes and the fireplace will
Yeah.
relocate.
That's
We'll talk about permit for
Yeah.
those and
Yeah.
relocate them.
You know, for the boxes, definitely, those black boxes definitely have to be moved. If you move them on your deck, you don't need any permitting for that. If you move your entire properties within jurisdiction, if you move them within the 50 to 100 foot buffer, on the front of the house,
Right,
talk to me and we can get appropriate permitting for that.
okay.
That little chimney, your little fire pit there, I'm not sure how the commission feels about that, but if you wanted to try to permit that, you would have to do that for a higher, with another permit.
Okay,
If you wanted to keep it there, if you
Right.
wanted to try to keep it there.
yeah,
But that would probably
It
have like a
would.
time of year restriction, like you can only have it up for 6 weeks and then it has to be removed.
yeah, okay, yeah, no, when we brought it from our other house, we were kind of like, where should this
It's
go? We
probably
didn't know.
easier, honestly, it's probably easier just to get rid of it.
Yeah,
And that will all be conditions to this permit.
okay,
And that'll also require a site inspection by me.
Okay.
Once it's all done.
Including the shed, right?
Yeah.
right.
Any other concerns or questions from this commission? Yes.
I move that we accept this for 73 Wigwam Road as a -3.
Second, Michael.
Michael, how do you vote?
Yes.
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 Yes. And yes. Okay.
Thank you.
It's been jumped.
And how this process works, since you don't know, is we issue a formal permit
Mhm.
and it'll get mailed to you, certified mail. Okay, so you can't do anything until you get that.
Yeah, we haven't had it built yet, because
Okay.
we wanted to make sure this was all done.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody named Brian Jacobson has raised his hand. I just saw that. I'm asking him to unmute.
I did unmute. Can you hear?
Yes.
Hi, I'm David Steves.
Hello, David. What can we do for you? What would you like to discuss?
Oh, I just somebody's asked you to unmute. I guess I'm with my wife, Amy Wassman. We're number 4. We're going to put in extend our deck a little bit on one side and do a little bit of renovation there on the deck.
Okay,
I haven't opened that yet.
let him open the hearing and then we'll come back to you, Brian.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so the next hearing is Amy Wasserman, 29 D Street, map 40. Is that right? No. That's yes.
Map 4023.
Not 40.
No, but I'm.
We just did that one.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Are you sure you took that test?
No, I think it wore out what the few ganglions I had up there. All right, once again, Amy Wasserman, 29 D Street, map 40/23, a request of determination for applicability, replace decking in a slightly different footprint.
And I have to recuse again.
Okay. Have a seat.
All right, now you're up.
Okay, hi.
This is Brian again?
David. Oh,
David.
David.
David Steves, yeah, Amy's husband.
Okay, got it.
Did you want to start? You can introduce the project for us?
Sure. Yeah, we right now currently we have a wraparound deck, and the house was built in the mid 60s, and it's just starting to show some age, and we just wanted to replace it. So we decided there's a lot of the deck that really doesn't get used, so we're not going to replace that. We're just going to remove it, and ultimately we just want to keep a small section of the deck in the back, or a section of the deck in the back closest to our tennis court, and then keep the bump out that we have closest to 3rd Ave. And so what we'll do is the rest of the deck is going to be taken down. The stairs on the far side of the house away from the bump out are going to be removed, and ultimately have some new stairs put in where the new bump out is going to be. And we'll also keep a small little seating area in the front where we have some sliders, and the rest of the front's going to be removed. So most of the deck is going to be removed, and we're just going to be keeping some in the back, and then the bump out that we currently have.
You bump out those stuff.
So this in the yellow, all of that is being removed, and then they're putting a deck on this
So it
side.
says bump out, that's what it's talking about.
Yes, and this is the buffer zone, but the entire property is within the floodplain.
Okay.
Barbara?
Okay, will any of the trees have to be removed to do this? Any vegetation removal?
No, none whatsoever.
Okay, and what kind of footings or support you would have for the new deck? I didn't take a look, it was part of the old deck, but what's gonna be supporting the new deck? Because that's pretty high. Second story deck.
Yeah, they have some new footings which are like corkscrews that go into the ground, which we did talk about having put in with the builder, but the builder is most likely going to be just putting concrete footings in.
These sonotubes.
Yeah,
The
my
sonotubes, correct? Yeah.
This sketch shows the footprint of the proposed deck overlapping a septic tank or a tank in the ground of some kind on this site plan. Can you explain that, please?
Yeah, that's the old septic tank. We had a whole new septic system put in last year, and we had Kevin Rose come, and that is the old tank. I did speak with him about that. He said that the tank has been crushed down, filled with sand, and will support footings.
So I wonder if that tank is no longer a tank, should it be removed from the site plan or?
No, I mean, it's already, you guys already permitted it to be crushed and left there, so.
Okay.
And this isn't, also not, we're more concerned about removing septics. It's less disturbance for them to build, yeah, but when we're on eroding inland or coastal banks, that's when we
Right.
want them removed.
No, I was just asking, should the tank be removed from the site plan?
Oh, I mean, it does, this is, yeah, it
It's an
doesn't,
RDA.
All right.
it's an RDA and again, you know, that's for the health department
And
to decide.
where was the 100 foot? Is this the 100 foot?
Yeah, so they are removing the decking that's within our jurisdiction and
Our jurisdiction is this way?
this way.
Okay.
That's a,
So there's only a small part that's still.
yeah, that's
actually-
existing.
Any
Yeah,
other questions?
You have dimensions for this new deck?
Nope,
I think we need that.
I do.
Yeah, so we at least need the part that's, we need the before and after, don't we?
Yeah,
Or not yet?
what the square footage of what's removed.
It's an RDA, so we don't need as much information, but we do need
The square
square
footage.
footage.
Of the new deck.
Uh-huh.
Do we need the square footage of what they've removed?
That's up to you guys, I mean, I
I'd
don't,
like to know
okay,
to get a sense. I mean, it's the implication, and I'm seem perfectly reasonable to believe it, that they're getting rid of decking and putting in more decking.
But it's out of our jurisdiction.
But it would be nice to know what trade-off is, just.
yeah. It's a reasonable request.
Okay, so a few calculations. Otherwise, I personally don't have an issue with this.
Well, besides the total areas that you were just talking about, we need to know the actual dimensions of the new deck, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, not just the area.
Would diamond footings be appropriate as opposed to sonotubes?
With things this high, I usually leave it up to the contractor, so we can always put it as a condition that diamond piers are preferred. And, you know, if sonotubes are needed, then they need to ask the agent, which is fine, they put it in an email, so if we wanna do that, that's easy enough, and obviously, safety is important.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
And you said it's high, so maybe
Yeah.
sonotubes just make more
There's a
sense.
street between the
Yeah,
property and the resource too.
but we do want dimensions for the deck before we approve anything, correct?
Mhm.
David?
Okay.
Did you hear that, David?
I did. Yeah, we do. We have drawings from for the deck, for the new deck, that we can certainly get to you. That shows all of the dimensions and square footage and such.
Does it show the dimensions and square footage of the deck that you're removing?
Yeah, well, it's the new deck. I'd have to go ahead and calculate the deck removing. I am pretty sure we're losing square footage, but I'll go ahead and just to double check that to make sure.
It looks like to me, if this drawing is accurate, you're taking out everything around the perimeter, and as far as our jurisdiction goes, there's just a small portion in the back of the house and to the side there. So
I'm comfortable, I can't speak for anyone else. he can give you the dimensions and you will okay them, I'm willing to say okay for this. I don't think we need to hold them
No
up.
reason to bring it down.
I'm comfortable with that if everyone else is.
We just, yeah, as long as there's documentation of what the new
Yeah.
deck is, what it's shaped like and what
And
it's.
if you feel there's any kind of question,
We'll bring it back.
we'll bring it back. I'm okay. So I propose, what is this, request? RDA. Yeah, so
-3.
-3.
All right. Is there a second for that? I'll second it.
Aye.
Yes.
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 And yes.
And David, are you still
Yes.
there?
I'm
Okay.
still here, yes, yeah.
Can you email me those drawings? And then once we get those drawings and I approve them, we'll be able to issue the permit. And you won't
Okay.
have to go to another hearing.
Okay, that'll be much appreciated, thank you.
Okay.
I believe, do I have your email?
You should. I send an email to everyone after the meeting
Okay.
tomorrow anyway, so you'll be getting an email
Okay.
from us.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll definitely get that to you right away.
Good job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Be very careful not to have it stop. And so far, so. He did have to spell my name because I'm from a big one. Okay. So. Okay, the next is John Allen Christine L. Shavering. County Capital Road, map 41, parcel 66, SC 0771684, and 0710. To remove a portion of the existing deck and replace it with a stone patio, construction, a screen porch and shed.
Good evening, Lynn Hamlin. Do you want these? Alicia, do you want these green cards?
Yep.
Thank you. And I spoke to Alicia like a couple of hours ago, and she indicated that there was some square foot areas you were looking for that either weren't clear in the plan. So this revised plan, I was lucky enough to get the surveyor its attention in the last hour. And so this plan consolidates some square foot areas that were either on the architect plan or not clear. So this, I believe, puts all the areas where you can see them.
Okay.
And so it's clearer for you.
Okay. Did you identify yourself?
I'm sorry, Lynn Hamlin with Hamlin Consulting.
Okay, you haven't signed in then? There's a page there, we should have signed in.
I have to come to Wellfleet Farm, typically midweek. I have to come.
Yeah, it was finished.
Do you know who I am? I'm here with the property owner Christine Sturding, and just anecdotally, she was the first conservation agent in the town of Wellfleet.
Okay.
Oh, I might have given you the one with my notes on it, so my desk was right here.
Oh, well, now we get that beautiful building.
I know, yeah. Well, I did move down the hall, but I was sitting there thinking, I used to sit here. Do you want me to go back here? I feel so far away from you, but I can.
Yes.
Okay.
Please do.
Usually it's the same.
You don't have a chair for you.
I need some covering.
Okay, so did the commission go to this site?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I launch? Yes. Okay. So again, Lynn Hamlin with Hamlin Consulting. This property has on it a few different resource areas that I delineated on site. The first one being the salt marsh, which is supported by the salt marsh species that make it a salt marsh. And there is a narrow BVW upgradient the salt marsh, which I conservatively delineated. It's stiff leaf quackgrass. And then upgradient of that is a top of coastal bank, which was delineated in accordance with Wetlands Protection Program policy number 92-1. And I have the little schematic on the narrative, which shows which bank it represents. So the bank is below the 100-foot flood elevation. There is also an ACEC. This property is located within an ACEC, and there is land subject to coastal storm flowage, which was put on the plan per the FEMA National Flood Hazard Layer. So this project is a relatively modest project. It's for proposed porch. And I did confer with Leisha at the onset of the project. Because like I had said, I don't work in Wellfleet a lot and I wanted to try not to miss things. And she guided me on the design process that you as a commission don't like anything within the 50-foot buffer, even if it's already previously disturbed. So the project was designed accordingly. And they are also switching some of the existing deck out for patio. I got those square footages now, so the whole deck is 466 square feet. 199 square feet of deck will be removed and replaced in its general footprint with 175 square feet of at-grade patio. So that's a net reduction of 24 square feet of hardscape. The porch is small. It's 158 square feet, and what they've added a storage shed sort of to the back of it. Again, the design being to keep everything away from the resource areas, so that was put to the back of it. We looked at alternatives, but if you look at the project purpose, it's to enjoy Logie Bay. If you're out there in the summer, there's a lot of things that bite you out there. I was out there a few times and it wasn't pleasant any one of those times. So they'd like to sit on the porch and enjoy the view. So this sort of location is really the only place it can go. You obviously don't want it on the street side. You can't put it on the water side because you'd be closer to the resource areas and there's no room on the other side so to comply with zoning setbacks. The porch will be a poured slab supported by concrete piers, which is actually far less disturbing than a full foundation or even a crawl space. The existing deck is a minimum of 43 feet away from the top of the coastal bank, which is the most restrictive resource area. The patio will be no closer than 43 feet. Again, the porch is 55 feet from the top of coastal bank. I did an extensive narrative, which I'm not going to take up your time and read to you. I trust that you looked at it. The section of your regulations relative to an ACEC is pretty much where an ACEC overlaps land subject to coastal storm flowage, because all those performance standards are relative to work occurring in the flood zone, and this work is occurring outside of the flood zone. We did give you a total disturbance area existing and proposed within both the 50 and the 100-foot buffer zone, and they're down in a little box now to the bottom. Within the 50-foot buffer, it's 82 square feet existing. I spoke to Leisha and she said because their lawn, quote unquote, is very Cape Cod, that we didn't have to include that in the disturbance. So it's basically the house in a little step to the south. So it's existing 82, proposed 60, and within the 100-foot buffer, that absorbs the area in the 50-foot buffer, so they're not adding, it's just part of. So the proposed to that shit's on.
I fall, we both have it.
They're stranding and they're calling you.
Something. We can stop.
All weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend photographed one of this. Anyway, I digress. But I know your regulations don't allow any additional disturbance above 5,000 square feet. And it was so minimal. I'm sorry I didn't spell that out more clearly. I hope I have now. But the house itself is 1,500. So I knew we were way under the 5,000, but now I hope it's clear to you. And I know you probably have a long evening, so I'll try to stop there and answer your question.
So the existing deck, you're removing it and adding in the dry set there. By dry set, is that pavers with what?
Stone dust, yes.
So it'll be permeable?
Yes.
Okay.
in a section of the deck, not the whole deck.
They're keeping this and they're
You're right.
just getting rid of like the little,
Oh, I see.
Not
So
a-
that was an above ground deck there?
this
Yes.
is on about, yeah,
Okay.
it's almost at grade, this deck, and then
Okay.
that's gonna be,
Got it.
Yeah, it's good to take disturbance out of the 50-foot. On page 2 in the middle, you say roof runoff is directed into stone trenches along the drip line. Does that refer just to the new production, the new?
No, because in your regulations, you require the existing structure to do the same thing.
Right.
So they don't have any roof runoff now, so it'll be an improvement. So you'll not only capture the porch, you're capturing the rest of the house per your regulations.
Great, so that means a gutter across the west side?
There'll be no gutter. The other design is that you let it run and then you put stone trenches. Some people prefer that architecturally.
Right.
So it gets contained in the trenches along the drip edge of the house. It's aesthetics.
Okay, I think I understand that, but currently there are roofs, I mean, the runoff from the main roof of the house goes on to stone steps on the west side.
Okay.
So is that going to be captured in a gutter or is it continue to just fall off the roof? You can't put a trench when there's already stone steps.
and the other one, the other side is on the, underneath the decking, so you're gonna have to rip up the deck to put the.
There is, I wonder if my husband was on here, but there is stone under that deck that's under the deck. The deck in the basement has a stone layer under it. So essentially it's
For erosion
straight.
control?
Sorry?
Would that be for erosion control?
Yes, that's
It
why
was to stabilize that, the deck underneath, which
But typically they put pea stone under decks. So one reason, if you get under a deck, a second story deck, you see it look like little cuts and the pea stone breaks them all up and.
Okay, go ahead, you want to?
Well, I just don't think you're actually capturing any of the runoff in a way that's beneficial to the resource area. You know, on the backside, when we were there was a clear line down that stone walkway, and that's just going down into nothing. There's nothing at that bottom, it's just grass. And then underneath the deck, I don't know how many inches of stone are underneath there, but you would need a decent amount to capture that runoff if you're not going to use gutters.
So we're talking about the.
So I guess I'm not clear how we're properly capturing the roof runoff.
Well, I'm at a disadvantage because we're not looking at it ourselves, right? I could explain it better, but typically when you put stone under a deck, when in this case, it's almost all the way across the back. So you're talking about this little stair here. You can either add stone to the edge of it, or you could run a gutter along the back. I mean, just typically it's an aesthetic thing. I mean, I think that in an order of conditions, if you just mandate that the roof runoff be contained either within a dry well or we won't get the certificate of compliance unless you're satisfied with it. So it can be handled in order.
Your drip line that you're seeing is on stone, the stone steps are dry set on stone.
Right.
And there's no runoff there, it goes right through the stones. We never have water in our basement or down along
Well, they're angled, so it's just flowing down the stones.
But
The
I think
stones are
that's
steps.
But I think
That's what I mean. It's just going.
Right,
Can
so
I
it goes,
jump in?
doesn't run off. Yeah, sure, jump in, please, John.
Go ahead, John.
Hi, I'm John Sherding. Can you see me all right?
We can see your
We can hear you.
There we go. If we're talking about the stone steps on the side of the house, in a typical rain, the water just goes through the gravel that the stones are set in. If there's a torrential rain, some of that will trickle down the steps and go into the deck below, the lower deck, outside the sliding glass door. And as was mentioned, there is a bed of stone just to stabilize that structure of that deck. That deck is on sleepers sitting on top of stone. So there's a pretty massive bed of stone that would take all of the water. And of course, all of the soil is really pure sand. So we've never experienced, puddles of water on the property. even in very strong rainfall.
I think the concern would be more for, are we seeing any of the sand eroding?
Yeah, I don't think there is.
So that's the primary concern. Am I wrong in that?
Well, I think just runoff from a roof that eventually goes off into the wetland is the concern.
As far
But
as
Mm-hmm.
if it sits in the gravel and goes into the groundwater,
I think another key thing is it actually is a lower elevation than the rest of the property.
right?
So
something
it would have to
uphill.
be 4 foot high or so to get into the wetland.
Yeah, I mean it would be going. Oh,
It would.
An interesting point is, it's light and air, the two best things to break down any kind of nutrients and pollutants. And I've always personally favored rain gardens or swales or anything that keeps runoff at grade for just a little bit of time, because then the light and the air can break down what's ever in it. When you shoot things into dry wells, they go right underground. And it's not as an effective treatment of pollutants.
I mean, the commission can determine if they think what's there is sufficient or not. I mean, we don't know how deep that gravel is or how it's being captured. But that is for you folks to determine if you're comfortable with.
well, it sounds plausible. On first blush, it looks like there's rain coming onto the stones. But if there are lots of gravel underneath it that's capturing it or filtering it, then I don't have a problem with that.
We can always make it a condition that the rainwater has to be properly managed, the runoff, and then if it's
not, then there's
I mean, the side that has the stones walking down, if it wasn't properly managed, they'd be getting flooding.
Right.
So it's the other side where it is actually above the resource area,
Right.
underneath the deck, that we don't really know what's under there or if it's adequate.
But I think that, I mean, all my projects, it's when you don't even have a house at all to consider on the site yet, if you condition it, that the roof runoff will be managed. And then that's a condition of the approval. And then because that they require a certificate of compliance, you get to review that at the end.
I guess I just want to say the steps have been there since 1990. And there's never, you don't see any erosion happening. So,
What about the proposed porch though? Will there be runoff?
That'll have to be captured.
yeah, well, we have that in the plan.
Yeah.
Another question. There are a number of locust trees around and other trees, and they seem to be trimmed.
The branches are coming, the branches are breaking, so they're here, so we trim them back.
Yeah.
There were
two that were pretty close to the house, and one of them was cut off.
That was
On the left side.
that was also damaged from the recent winds. We had a really strong wind in the spring, you might remember, and that was damaged.
Yeah,
So we were just thinking of take it down.
Locusts are very snappy.
Would that require a JO or something though?
Technically, yeah, any vegetation removal requires approval from this office, usually for things that are small like that. You know, you take a picture of something that fell in a storm, and I usually just don't even make you jump through the hoops of getting the jurisdictional opinion. I just say, go ahead, get rid of it. And that just prevents us from having unpermitted work that includes, things like this, the pruning. But so in the future, anytime you remove a limb or anything like that, send me an email and I'll be able to point you in the right direction. But that's standard for all properties, especially ones that have views, because as you know, there are strict regulations for vista management, and we need to hold everybody at the same level.
If you're talking about the one right and straight in front of the deck, we obviously didn't take it down. You can see that it's like this, and this one was up a little bit higher and was broken.
Yeah.
So we just leveled it off.
Yeah.
I had an image of putting a little birdhouse there, but we've never done that.
And there, we did see multiple trees and other things that had obvious pruning done without any permitting. So just moving forward, be aware.
Yeah, also just be cleaning up, but I'll definitely do that in the future.
John?
I just had a question about how you arrived at the mitigation planting that you show on the plan.
Because Alicia said you would like it. So I did the two native clusters, or two clusters of native shrubs, and I put them as close to the woody area within their, I hesitate to say lawn, but within the non-woody area. If you would like a different species or a different look, I usually say they can be site adjusted.
Well, they are towards the resource, so that's.
That I thought
It's
you'd
all right.
like them, and I picked species that were native to the area and or coastal species.
Well, but yeah, the species are fine. They're very appropriate, but I just wondered how you arrived at the number and the
Okay,
location.
I picked the number because I like my clusters in odd numbers. And the location because I tried to get it as close to the because I wanted to increase the buffer, the natural buffer, so I didn't want to put them in the front of the property, and I wanted to put them as close to the undisturbed woody section as I could.
Well, I'm getting too nitpicky, but I wondered if they would serve a better purpose for habitat if they were. Aren't they kind of isolated? Won't they be kind of isolated islands in a pretty barren landscape? As you
Actually,
show them in the plan, I'm not sure.
wildlife like space and woods and space and woods. They like edges. So I usually mitigation plans, and Teresa might help me. It's often a cluster is more natural and it provides open spaces for wildlife than a grid. So I would always do clusters versus a straight line of things. If you're thinking of a straight line of 6 shrubs, I prefer to do 2 clusters of 3.
I think, is this against the naturally vegetated area, or are these just floating in the?
No, maybe a few feet above, just to allow a spacing in, but they're not just in the middle of the yard.
I think that the plan is deceiving because there is some
Yeah, it's hard to know.
natural vegetation that comes up, so I think that they look like they're floating in space here, but I don't think that they're too far from that.
Continuity is
correct.
the continuity of the habitat is really important. So if they're not really on the ground looking at where they're going to go, so it's kind of hard to envision. As long as they're fairly close.
Comfortable. I don't have a problem with a condition that specifies the location to be close to the
Naturally occurring vegetation.
Yeah,
Totally, we'll do whatever. I mean, there's a big bank of beach plum there right now.
Yeah.
So we can just go back and add a few more and to protect it.
Any other questions or concerns?
I have one question. When we were on site, the porch was staked out, but I don't think the storage shed was included in that. Do you know? Were you on site when it was staked?
Jeez, I don't do the staking.
That's fine. I was just more curious, and it doesn't.
I could probably text somebody real quick.
I don't think it matters. It was just for my own curiosity.
I'm sorry, they weren't labeled.
Well, it said that the porch was labeled, but it was in a perfect. The only thing that was labeled was the porch, and that was it. The patio area wasn't labeled, and it was just in a perfect square. It didn't have that little bump out for the shed. So it was just curiosity. I don't think it matters that much.
So it's 3.5 feet more to the
Yeah,
side.
I just didn't know when I, trying to visualize. Yeah.
Any other questions or concerns?
I move we approve the NY for Sherdane 10 Catboat Road, map 41, parcel 66, with the special and general conditions.
That's what's fun.
Second.
Yes.
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 And yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, just a clarification, if a limb is broken, we can't limit, we have to tell you about it?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Take a picture. I mean,
I'll take a picture, send it by email and say we're gonna limit this.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, I use your judgment, but we have to hold everybody to the same standard. So I always say,
Yeah,
just
wanna
take a
say that.
picture. Simple things I say, okay, thanks for notifying me.
Okay.
If it's bigger,
It'll be an annual occurrence.
Yeah,
Happens every
that's
year.
fine. I would rather that than
Yeah,
the other way.
okay, thank you, that'd be fine.
Okay, moving right along. Number 6, Thomas and Caroline Hopkins. 225 Browns Neck Road, map 15, parcel 172, SC 077, and 1685, notice of intent to construct a single family dwelling on a vacant lot.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, John O'Reilly. I'm here online. Sorry, I'm not in the room with you. But with us today is Teresa Sprague and CC from Blue Flax Design. And I see Tom in the audience as well. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Just
Okay,
fine.
thank you. I feel like a commercial every time I ask that. So we are looking to construct a 3-bedroom home on the vacant piece of property on Browns Neck Road. The resources we are dealing with is salt marsh, land subject to coastal storm flowage, a coastal bank, and the ACEC Inner Harbor boundary. The bank was defined using the DEP Technical Bulletin of 92-1, wherein when a floodplain intersects a slope, the bank of a certain slope, it is the first significant break above that floodplain, and that's exactly what's happening here. So we have identified the coastal bank as the most landward wetland resource on this property. If you take a look at the existing condition plan and the topography, we have positioned this house to take advantage of, or try to take advantage of the natural knoll on the hill, on the lot, excuse me. And the foundation of the dwelling is just about 79 feet away from the coastal bank. The deck, which would be supported by sonotubes and posts, is 63 feet away from that bank. And we are holding a limit of work line of 56, almost 57 feet to the top of the bank. The septic system is fully compliant. It is compliant with the Wellfleet local regulations, and we are providing the enhanced IA treatment technology that is required. If you look at the location of the house, the ideal location of a house on this lot would be about 20 feet closer to the bank to take advantage of that full knoll. So one of the things that Tom and his architect have worked really hard at is to position the home while respecting the sensitivity of the lot and your local regulations, while still being able to take advantage of that natural knoll on the lot. It is a drive under garage, so we've graded the lot accordingly. All of that grading and driveway is beyond your jurisdiction. Let's see, we do have some standard construction notes on here as far as roof runoff will be handled by dry wells, gutters, and gutters, downspouts, and dry wells, or stone trenches under the drip lines. The coverages on this property is, of course, it's a vacant lot. There is a shed on it, which will be relocated and moved off the site. So we're looking at a total of about 1,263 feet of permanent alteration, which is the roof and deck areas. And I do have a total disturbance within the limit of work line of just under the 3,000 square feet. It's 2,984 square feet. So we feel the building and the site is compliant with your local regulations. I'm going to be happy to take any questions you may have, but at this point, I'll turn it over to Teresa and CC for the presentation of the land management and the mitigation plans.
Thank you, John and CC, Family Reed. Nice to see you all. So this property at 275 Browns Neck Road is really well vegetated with native canopy, mid-story, and understory vegetation. The canopy layer we've identified is comprised of pitch pine, white oak, serviceberry, black cherry, and sassafras. and the mid-story shrub layer is comprised mainly of bayberry, summer sweet, huckleberry, low bush blueberry, high bush blueberry, and viburnum. And the ground cover layer is like duff, pine needles, sarsaparilla, Virginia creeper, Pennsylvania sedge, and crinkle hairgrass, as well as quite a bit of poison ivy and greenbrier mixed in there, makes it navigation on the site a little tricky. We've noticed a stand of black locust trees and saplings on the southern portion of the site, kind of abutting Mr. Hopkins' property to the south, as well as some bittersweet and wisteria. And so mainly the invasive species that we would be proposing to manage are along the southern property line. And we'd just like to stop the encroachment of those invasive species into the northern portion of the property, where it is really just mainly native vegetation. It's a really beautiful site. Within the limit of work, 19 pitch pines and 1 white oak are proposed to be removed for the construction of the dwelling. They are within the 100-foot buffer, and we're proposing to replant them per your regulations at a 3-to-1 ratio with native woody vegetation. And the vegetation that we propose to restore includes serviceberry, eastern red cedar, red oak, viburnum, bayberry holly, bush blueberry, bayberry, cedar sweet, sweet fern, wood fern, Pennsylvania sedge, and crinkle hairgrass, which are all native shrubs that we've noticed on the site. We're also proposing a small sitting area at the top of Coastal Bank, where currently there is a bit of a clearing and no vegetation is noticed in this spot, and it has kind of already a open duff pine needle path leading to it. And so we would like to just propose to maintain this duff and pine needle path to the small seating area. And the dimensions of the sitting area are 8 feet wide by about 9 feet long, which is about 72 square feet. It'll just be maintained as pine needle and duff, Pennsylvania sedge, and crinkle hairgrass creep into that space. That's absolutely fine by us. And that's just to allow Thomas to have a spot to sit and enjoy the view. And all of our restoration work will protect and strengthen the resource area by removing invasive species and restoring the site to be as well canopied and naturalized as possible, with the goal of creating kind of a treehouse feeling for the new dwelling and make it feel like it's part of the landscape. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I'm just trying to compare what is there now. I'm using a picture up here. So it looks like you're really beefing up the buffer, the zone between the resource and the house. Is that right? I mean, it looks like it's going to be much more substantial and stabilized.
Yes. Completely restoring the area within the limit of work with native vegetation. So not proposing any lawn or open space. All recreation will be limited to the deck area, and then just the small footpath and a naturally open area to allow some seating at the top of the bank to enjoy the views of the marsh.
Right. So there'll be no path going down the cliff there.
Nope.
Okay. Any questions, concerns?
Is this Poldi?
It is, it's up to Poldi Creek.
Poldi.
I had a question about the name Brown's Neck Swamp. I've lived here for over 40 years and about a mile away, and I never heard that appellation used for that. It's Upper Poldi Creek, and that's the most common name for it here. And also it's herbaceous, it's not a swamp. So I just wondered where that came from. I'm just curious.
I'm not sure. To be honest,
You guys just made that up. It looks like a swamp. It smells like a swamp.
We can certainly change that in the land. I'm not sure where that Camperman, I know another one of our designers was also working on the land management plan and he wasn't going to be here, but we could certainly.
Well, okay, but I have a more substantive question. You intend to go after the poison ivy and the smilax, the cat briar as invasive species?
No. We would just manage that within the area where we're going to be doing the restoration planting, just because it can be very aggressive and can take over, but the goal is not to eradicate that. It's pretty well established throughout this lot. We would obviously like to keep that out of the pathway that we're proposing in the seating area, but other than that, it's very much a part of this lot.
So there's no intention of doing broadcast herbicide?
No, no.
Okay.
One of the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th bullet point down.
That's the 19.
Sorry, 2, 4, 5. Fifth bullet point, invasive plants
Yes,
will be selectively treated with an herbicide
correct.
and removed mechanically or by hand. And if you're going to uproot these aggressively,
We're not going to uproot them, so mechanically would be the locust, some of the locusts would come down with a chainsaw. The rest will be cut by hand with pruners and selectively treated and removed. No root material, the locust trees will not be uprooted. There'll be no stumps removed. We don't want that kind of disturbance. So it'll be cut high, painted, a system of herbicide will be painted on. We'll give it some time to translocate, and then if we need to cut it a little bit lower and flush cut it to the ground and just let the root system naturally biodegrade.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That clarifies.
I know we ask this all the time, but do we really need the herbicide?
For locust.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll just.
It will continue to sucker if we don't,
Yeah.
and really it does allow us to not have to mechanically remove the stumps, which we think is preferable on the site. It will be treated very selectively. There'll be no broad foliar spraying. It will be a wipe-on application.
And it is very effective with locusts. It works very well. From the research, it shows that there is less disturbance for using herbicide on locusts than the alternative, which is to dig them out.
Any other concerns or questions?
Did you give the dimensions of that clearing area in the plan at all?
No.
No, but we can add those to the plan.
I can just put them in as a condition.
Sure.
Do you want to read them to me one more time?
Yep.
Yeah, the seating area was 8 by 9, and it's a 72 square feet.
Okay.
I have a question about so this will be areas that will be clear. It's clear now, but they'll be maintained as a clearing with seating.
Generally just through, yes.
That 72 square feet?
This area on the coastal bank.
Which, just the seating area you're talking
Yes.
about? Yeah, so there's a 3-foot pathway, and then you said that it was already clear. You're not getting any of that.
We're not clearing. No,
They just want to be able to maintain it to be a seating area, a naturalized seating.
By maintaining it, you mean not establishing bushes or anything, just allowing.
Just allowing it to be what it is. It's mainly duff with some hen sedge and some crinkle hair grass, so that would just remain, and just so it would be an area though where
No edging, no.
no,
Okay.
none. It'd just be a natural.
With a couple of chairs there.
Yeah. I mean, the property, Mr. Hopkins' goal is to really keep this a very naturally wooded site. This is very much meant to be like a cottage in the woods.
We permitted a similar thing on Bayview.
I'm not excited about that.
I know you're not.
Well, because the site is so well canopied and well established native vegetation, it just gives them an opportunity to get to the top of the bank where they can enjoy the views.
That was my other question. There's no trees coming down for views. The only trees coming down are for the home right now.
Yes.
And then those locust trees in the mitigation area.
Yes, yeah, mainly located. on-
Okay, and then if in the future, they'll come back for vista management if that's what
If
they want.
that's desired.
But they're avoiding that by getting their seating area.
Okay, we're looking. I move that we approve the application of the notice of intent for construction of a new dwelling at 275 Browns Neck Road.
Do a second for that?
I'll second it.
All right. What do you vote, John?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes,
Don? Yes. Yes. And yes.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very weird, a bunch, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's because Janet Lee should be on the.
Right.
More so.
That's true. Grateful for that. Thank you.
I am still, I am still waiting. The commission said they would come back to me.
Who, what? Where are we?
This is Brian.
Yes, hi.
Hi. What did you discuss?
So this goes back a few of the agenda items. Just to let the record show, my hand was raised as an abutter to make comment for 73 Wigwam with the shed. The commission took a vote before acknowledging myself as an abutter. I'm wondering if I can speak now to the commission.
We can listen.
We certainly can listen.
So my understanding is abutters are given an opportunity to comment before the vote, and I was trying to do that again, because this is recorded, you will see record, my hand was raised to do that, I just was not acknowledged. I did want to just highlight the shed that's going up, or that you gave approval to. The concern that I have as an abutter across the way is that location where they want to put up a shed is going to harm the vista for the dozens of people who walk along Wigwam and around Pleasant Point. If you're familiar with the area, it's a view of Drummers Cove. And it was interesting. There was a couple of the people who spoke on the agenda afterward talking about enjoying the view, enjoying the views of the marsh. I heard it recurrently. Just the concern we have is the siting of the shed on their property, in that it would have a direct impact as a 10 by 12 and then presumably 12-foot high size shed, just obscuring some of the view of Drummers Cove, which is part of conservation land. There's opportunity for them to site the shed on their property that would not obstruct view of the cove. I suspect regulations legally allow them to site the shed in a way that obstructs view of conservation land. But I think the spirit of the regulations is probably to try to maintain enjoyment of the vista for as many people as possible. It's a very nice area with green herons, northern harriers, salt marsh sparrows, even some coyotes and foxes that are visible just from the street. And the shed where I think currently they want to site it would block some of that. They do have room on the other side of their house where the view is not obstructed. So I wanted to raise that with the commission. I know you've already voted yes, but I did want that to be part of the record.
Thank you for adding that. Unfortunately, we have no jurisdiction over that, over private property on where they locate it in terms of public views. But we do appreciate your concern.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. What happened there, Jen, as far as not seeing his hand?
I actually did allow, I asked him to unmute because I saw his hand, but I thought he was still David, because when David was talking, he had a different name up.
So he's been unmuted like since that thing happened.
I'm sorry,
But I didn't
I'm sorry
realize
that you didn't have a chance to say
Yeah.
it, but we don't really take that into account, frankly, so. Okay. The next one was Thomas and Caroline Hopkins.
No.
No, that was the last one.
Karen Lavoy,
Oh,
25
sorry.
Fred.
We're further along than I thought. Thank you for watching out from here. Karen Lavoy, Escal, 25 Crest Avenue, map 25, parcel 88, SE 07715-1533. A request for certificate of compliance to remove 10 trees, install dry well and native plantings. And I think
It's probably just me here,
It's
yeah, I
just
would
you.
assume. This was a permit, you folks probably know better
Yeah,
than me.
yeah.
It was an after the fact permit for vista pruning.
Right, from the pool, so they could see,
Yeah.
fit in the pool and see them.
Yes. And all the restoration work was done. There are no vessels being stored in the resource area. They do have some kayaks rack out there that are permitted, but they have removed all the other vessels. So technically, this can be, I recommend it.
I move that we approve the certificate of compliance. Karen Lavoy, 25 Crest Avenue.
Second, okay.
Yes, Michael.
Yes.
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 And yes. Do we have to sign anything for that?
Sure.
Yay. No proof reference signed.
During COVID in Harwich, we would drive. I would drive to all of the commissioners' houses to have them sign the paper. And it was like so nice to have some human interaction.
Oh, because it is all.
Yeah, we would be masked up, but
Yeah.
all the meetings were virtual, so then I would go drive and they'd sign all the sheets of paper.
We just used the bin system.
That's right, that's right. We all had to sign separate ones.
I saw that. And I was like, oh, those core recording fees must have been.
Okay, the last one. Oh, look, it's Kang and Jeff Lee. 1100 Blackfish Lane, map 30, parcel 105, SE 077-1662, the change of plan. What?
So I went out there for the start work order and nobody from Blue Flags nor I had been out there in the summer when the marsh grass is very much growing. And we saw that Mr. Lee has been just putting boards as access to the property. And that's what he's been doing the whole time, like 2x.
Through the marsh?
Yeah, to access the property over the marsh right here. I'm not sure if you can see, but over the marsh grasses.
To go where?
To get to access the
Water?
no,
The shed.
to access the structure. So they are now allowed to maintain a 2-foot pathway, access the shed, and no longer use boards that could become potential marine debris. And that was an oversight by both Blue Flags and I, because nobody was out there in the summer. Yeah, you could just walk right up, but it was tall. So now they have actual access.
I suppose I should understand.
Yeah.
Why did they have to get down into the marsh at all to get access?
Well,
to
they
the
walk.
shed?
Well, they walk
they go the
down here.
shoreline?
Yeah, they walk the shoreline because this isn't their property. So to get there, they come down here and then they walk the shoreline, like right on the rack line, really.
Oh, okay.
And then they have
to
get back up.
So now it's just a cleared path.
Yeah, they can maintain it so they can just go out there with a weed whacker and mow it. They're not going to be pulling anything. It's just
So
to be
there's
able
no
to.
pressure treated wood or anything.
Yeah, yeah, no more. I mean, they were just laying it down as you see all over the place, but that's potential marine debris. So this is the better solution. And I just wanted to make sure that we had it.
Do we have to vote on that?
You do have to vote on it, but you don't have to sign anything.
Oh, okay.
So I move that we approve Lee, map 30, parcel 105, change of plan.
Second.
Second.
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't like it.
Hold whole thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Problematic.
there's no other way to get out there.
Okay, I move that we adjourn the public hearings.
Second, Michael?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And yes. Okay, we are adjourned for the hearings. We'll start the business meeting. In attendance, we have Michael Fisher, John Portnoy, Barbara Benisel, John Cumberland, Bob Stewart, and Leon Shrews. So we have a forum. Do we have any jurisdictional opinions to?
No. Well, I think there's technically one, but I didn't have the bandwidth to get it together. He'll get it soon.
I'll look forward to this. As far as mail and discussions, we have, what do we have here? An acceptance of the 2012. We need to approve this.
Yeah, I had a question about the first one, the January 7th one.
Mm-hmm.
So that the revised material deadline is the 31st of December. Are we talking about a realistic amount of the 7th?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, if the revised things have to be in on the 31st, isn't that
It's New Year's Eve.
That's normal.
It's a week before.
It's a week before. We'll be in the office. We have the next day off.
next day?
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't be in.
I'll be there.
Somebody will be.
Somebody will be there.
So then I should just say I won't be here for either January meeting, either the 7th or the 21st.
Okay, we'll miss you. Any other things to be said? Otherwise, I move that we approve.
Second, Michael? Yes.
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 And yes, okay. All right. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
How much of a hassle is it to keep the Zoom stuff going?
I think we're required to.
Yeah, we
Are we
are.
still required to?
I
do
think
this?
it's Wellfleet we are, yeah.
Okay, I just wondered how long we were going to do, since we're meeting in person. but-
Yeah. well,
Yeah, the hybrid meeting, I think that's gonna be the
We
way.
get better performance. I mean, we get better attendance by contractors that maybe up Cape or have multiple meetings. Saving a lot of fossil fuel.
One, I do think what we're doing is allowing off-Cape contractors to be able to do work here and it puts less of a burden on the property owner.
And homeowners who aren't here, they're only here.
Yeah, and it's more like Merrill, who I think who's been doing some new applications on the Cape. And I think they've been, for me on my end, they've been very good to work with. They wouldn't do this if they couldn't come remote.
Okay, just asking.
I know it's a hassle
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, I mean, it doesn't hassle me, but I just thought it was expensive.
Yeah, well, I'm just sorry that one person didn't get a chance to speak when he wanted to.
Sorry about that.
It hasn't happened often.
It's
so.
hard for the course with these.
Yeah. Okay, did anybody have any comments on the minutes?
I have a couple of comments.
We do Barbara Brenstall's there last night. I saw that.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You're clumsy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were,
I didn't even.
your evil twin was
Where?
here.
Where is that? I put her in the, oh my
We never-
goodness.
We never get-
I didn't notice that either, Jen, but I don't even read that part.
And do it twice? Like in the.
It's good enough once, it's perfect twice, huh? Okay.
And on the second page of Ted Santos, his name, actual name is Ted Castro Santos hyphenated. His brother's Clark Santos, but I wrote it down and then I found two other minor typos. Ted Castro hyphen Santos. It's in there. That's his real name.
I think we signed it though.
I labeled it for you, so you know who's this one.
Anybody else? One.
Oh, yes. you
Okay,
did.
John.
That's some minor ones that I'll just give to Jen, but there was one that requires some discussion on page 4. Fourth paragraph, second sentence says adding more vegetation for soil stabilization over the septic system, including non-woody shrubs like bearberry and native grasses was discussed. First thing is there aren't any non-woody shrubs, because shrubs by definition are woody. I suggest we say including low growing shrubs, like very native grasses. Because the other problem is with the way it's written is that bearberry is a shrub. Although it's a very diminutive shrub, it is a shrub. So I think we should substitute low growing for non-woody.
Okay.
That's all supposed to
Is
be.
that in conflict with anything that was said? Or- It's not. Okay. Is that something? Yeah, it's. Okay, so I move, if there's no more comments, I'll move that we accept them with those tended corrections.
Second,
Yes.
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 Was I here?
Stay on it.
Barbara's
No,
here.
you're not here. You weren't here.
So I can't
So
vote.
you can, no, you can vote for Bob. Okay,
Well,
And
I'm
then-
glad I was there twice because I'm not gonna be at the next meeting.
you might be
Okay.
calling first, okay. So the next meeting is October 1st. I'll move that we adjourn the business meeting.
Second, Michael.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. And yes, thank you, everybody. Good work. Everybody's got a pencil.